Good afternoon all. Welcome to the lecture of complex analysis. I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So in last lecture we have seen the half part of our Taylor's theorem. Okay. So first let us see what is the Taylor's theorem. That is statement of Taylor's theorem. This Taylor's theorem. Let F be analytic. F be analytic in open ball about A of radius R. Then we have to prove that f of z is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity an z minus a to the power n, where modulus of z minus a is less than capital R, where an is nothing but 1 upon n factorial fn of a, and the series has and the series has radius of convergence greater equal by r. Okay, so this one is nothing but the Taylor's theorem. Okay, here just we have given f is any analytic function in open ball about a of radius r, and from that one we have to prove that f of z is nothing but this series, that is series n running from 0 to infinity a n z minus a to the power n, where this series is lies in between this region modulus of z minus a less than r. It means it is a circle at center at a having radius will be capital R, and in that we have to prove that this series will be converges to our f of z. Okay, series n running from 0 to infinity a n z minus e to the power n equal to f of z. It means this series will be converges to this f of z, where a n is nothing but 1 upon n factorial fn of e. And if we prove this one, then we have to check whether the series has a radius of convergence greater equal by r, less than or it is equal to r. Okay, now in last lecture already we have proved that f of z is nothing but summation n running from 0 to infinity a n z minus a to the power n. Now it remains to check whether a n is nothing but 1 upon n factorial fn of a, and then we have to check whether this series has a radius of convergence greater equal by r. Okay, so in its first part solution or proof by using given, that is f is analytic in open ball about a of radius r. As here we have to prove that the series will be converges in this region, then here r will be capital. Okay, and here our capital f, sorry, small f be analytic in this region. As this will be analytic in this region, so here we have considered one small r which is strictly less than capital R, so that the closure, that is closed disk which is centered at a having radius r must be a subset of open ball about a of radius capital R. Since here we have chosen r will be smaller than our capital R, then this region, that is this disk, closed disk must be a subset of this open disk. And why now we are using our previous theorem, which is nothing but the Cauchy's integral formula, and which is nothing but f of z is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w upon w minus z dz. Okay, sorry, f of w divided by w minus z into dw, where modulus of z minus a is less than our small r. Okay, in which gamma is nothing but, where gamma is a plus r into e to the power it, where t is lies between closed interval 0 to 2 pi.
जॉइन होता
Yes.
येत नाहीये जॉइन होता येत नाहीये तर काही जणांना.
ओके, जॉइन करायचं. Okay, where gamma is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it, and in Cauchy integral formula we have taken w is belonging to curve gamma. As w is belonging to curve gamma, then w is nothing but, that is trace of gamma, then w must be of this form, a plus r into e to the power it, and from this one we have finding dw is nothing but r I e to the power it, and by all this solving we get f of w into 1 upon w minus z is nothing but limit n tending to infinity summation k running from 0 to n f of w into z minus e to the power n divided by w minus e to the power n. And then we have considered our capital F of Z as it is defined on our compact set. It means it is defined on trace of gamma, then and trace of gamma is compact, and f is a function defined on that compact set. It implies it must be bounded. So we have defined some capital M, which is nothing but supremum of modulus of f of w, where w is belonging to trace of gamma. Okay, now it implies modulus of f of w is less equal by m, that is f is bounded by this m for each w belonging to trace of gamma. And then solving we get one series, that is f of w into z minus e to the power n, that is series n running from 0 to infinity, f of w into z minus e to the power n divided by w minus e to the power n plus 1, and which is less equal by m upon some capital R, sorry, small r, z minus e to the power, divided by r to the power n. And then we have considered our series will be, then we have used our Weierstrass theorem, and by Weierstrass theorem this series will be converges to some f of w divided by w minus z. Then by using the integrability property, that is if f is so capital F is converges to small f, then integration of capital F is converges to integration of small f. Then by using this property we have proved something, and then we get one our capital small f of z, and which is nothing but summation n running from 0 to infinity an into z minus a to the power n, where modulus of z minus a is less than this small r, and an is nothing but, where an is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw. ओके, इथपर्यंत आपण आलो. इथपर्यंत कोणाला काही डाऊट असेल तर विचारू शकतो. येस,
सर जरा फास्ट होते, जरा स्लो घ्या.
हे मी थेरम हे केलं नाही, एक्सप्लेन केलं नाही, जी लास्ट एक लेक्चरला घेतलं होतं ते सांगितलं फक्त. इथपर्यंत आपण आलो. हा ना,
येस सर.
परत एकदा सांगायची गरज आहे. परत
No,
एकदा
sir.
सांगितलं तर हे लेक्चर पूर्ण त्याच्यात होते. फक्त आपल्याला काय दाखवायचं होतं, टेलर्स थेरमच्या स्टेटमेंटनुसार काय एफ हा अनालिटिक आहे, कुठे आहे, ओपन बॉल अबाउट ए हॅव्हिंग रेडियस विल बी capital R. It means it is a disk which is centered at this A and having radius will be R. And then we have to prove that f of z is nothing but this series. It means this series will be converges to f of z in this region. That is we have to prove. And an is nothing but 1 upon n factorial f of a. Okay. And then we have to check whether this series has a radius of convergence will be greater or equal by R or which is less than R. Okay. So in last lecture already we have proved that f of z is in this form. But we have to check whether an is nothing but 1 upon n factorial upon fn of a, sorry, 1 upon n factorial fn of a or not. But here we get fn of an as 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w upon w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw. Now it remains to check whether it is equal to 1 upon n factorial fn of a or not. And if this one is equal to this one, then as RHS is equal, then LHS must be equal. And then we get our required an. Okay. Now equation 1 is nothing but the series in equation 1 is a power series in the region mod z minus a, which is less than R. Since here we have chosen our region, this one. Okay, that is a circle which is centered at A and having radius will be smaller. And in this region, this series will be converges to this f of z. And in this region the series converges to f object. Now it remains to check whether an is equal to 1 upon n factorial fn of a or not. But by Cauchy's integral formula, we know that by Cauchy integral formula, what is f object? F object is nothing but
1 upon 2 pi I
1
integral
upon
over gamma
integral over the curve gamma f of
w upon w minus z
minus
dw.
dw, where modulus of z minus a is less than r. Okay, now this will be f object. From that one, find out the value of f dash object. Then what is f dash object? Which is 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma. And here we have to take the partial derivative with respect to z. Then what is the derivative of this one? 1 upon z. What is the derivative of 1 upon z? Minus 1 by z square. And from that one we have to find out the derivative of this term. As in f of w there is no term of z, then this will be remains constant with respect to z. Okay, so f of w is as it is. Now, what is the derivative of 1 upon w minus z? One upon 1 minus x चं derivative कैसे करना with respect to x?
1 upon w minus z bracket square into minus 1.
1 upon w minus z into bracket square into
Minus 1.
yes, this would be nothing but minus 1 minus x to the power minus 1. Okay, minus 1 or plus 1?
Minus 1 sir. Minus 1 into minus 1 plus 1 is
minus 1 into minus 1 plus 1 होईल ना तो हा याचा डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काय येईल minus 1 into 1 minus x to the power minus 2. This is into derivative with respect to
minus
x
1.
and minus 1 x चा काय येईल minus 1 minus 1 plus 1 होईल सेम इथे म्हणजे हा टोटल काय येईल माझा 1 upon 1 minus x bracket square येईल ठीक आहे and by using this one is nothing but f of w upon w minus z bracket square and derivative of minus z with respect to z minus 1 and already we have minus 1 then minus 1 which is plus 1 into dw. Then what is the f double dash of z? Which is nothing but minus 2 into w minus z to the power minus 3 into again minus 1. Yes, na?
Yes sir.
Which is again
2
plus 2.
upon w minus z cube.
So f double dash of z is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma. F of w into
2
2
upon
into
w minus z cube.
w minus z cube dw. What is f triple dash of z? Which is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w into again which is minus 3 into w minus z to the power minus 4 into again minus 1 minus again plus 2 into 3 which is 2 into 3 divided by w minus z to the power 4 dw. Okay, now from this one what is f n of z? Is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w into this 2 into 3 into 1 can be written as 1 into 2 into 3. This one can be written as 1 into 2. Now, then what is fn of z? Fn of z is nothing but
n
1 into
factorial
2
upon
n
w minus z upon
minus z raised to n plus 1.
w minus z to the power n plus 1 dw. Okay? कुणाला काही डाऊट आहे आतापर्यंत त्यामध्ये डेरिव्हेटिव्ह मध्ये?
no sir.
So
No,
fn of
sir.
z becomes 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma n factorial into f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus w minus z to the power n plus 1 dw. Now this one is for any value of z. Now here we will take for z equal to a. as fn of z is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma n factorial into f of w divided by w minus z to the power n plus 1 dw. This is true for any value of z where z is a complex variable. Then if we choose any a belonging to z, that is c, then it becomes 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma n factorial into f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1. This one can be written as f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1 into n factorial dw. Okay, but what is value of an from previous steps? An is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w upon w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw. Okay, so let us divide by n factorial on both sides. Then we get fn of a divided by n factorial, and which is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw. But what is this one? This one is nothing but an. So which implies fn of a divided by n factorial is equal to an. Okay, so we get an is nothing but 1 upon n factorial fn of, and that is we have to prove. So here we get the value of an, but here an is independent on the gamma, since here there is no curve gamma. So an is independent on curve gamma. Here value of an is independent on gamma, where gamma is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it. It means as it is independent on this curve gamma, then it is obviously independent on r also, since there is no term of this gamma and r in this value of an. Okay, so which implies an is independent on small r, which is lies between 0 to capital R. Okay, so for modulus of z minus a less than r, that is small r, we get f of z is equal to series n running from 0 to infinity an into z minus a to the power n, where modulus of z minus a, as here already we have taken, there is no need to take 1 second, and an is nothing but 1 upon n factorial fn of. But here we have chosen this value of r, that is small r, is arbitrary. Therefore, as it is true for any arbitrary value which is lies between 0 to capital R, then it must be true for any value in between the region modulus of z minus a, which is strictly less than capital R. Okay, but as small r is arbitrary, but as small r is arbitrary, f of z is equal to series n running from 0 to infinity an into z minus a to the power n for any value which is in between this region. Okay, where an is nothing but 1 upon n factorial fn of. Okay, now for any value of r, the series will be converges to f of z, where an is nothing but this one. Now, as series is converges to this one, it means it has no point, singular point in between this region small r, that is the region having center will be r and radius will be r. या regionच्या आतमध्ये मला एकही सिंग्युलर पॉइंट भेटत नाही. फाइंड आउट काय करायचे, रेडियस ऑफ कन्वर्जन. व्हॉट इज रेडियस ऑफ कन्वर्जन्स? रेडियस ऑफ कन्वर्जन्स इज nothing but the distance from the origin, that is the origin of our given power series to our nearest singular point. As the series will be converges to f of z for any value of this capital R, then it must be converges to for all values in between this region. It means this series has radius of convergence at least capital R. Okay, which implies the series has radius of convergence is at least small r. It means radius of convergence must be greater or equal by r. Okay, either it is equal to r or it must be greater than r, and hence our required result. Okay, yes, कुणाल काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
No, no, sir.
Okay, there is no doubt. Then we will see some consequences of Taylor's theorem. Okay, that is, there are three consequences which are depending on Taylor's theorem. First one is nothing but let f from G to C be analytic and small a is belonging to domain G, then f of Z is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity an Z minus a to the power n, where modulus of Z minus a is less than r, and r is nothing but distance between a and dou of G, where dou of G is the boundary of a set G. Boundary of set capital G. Okay. So here we have given f is just an analytic function which is defined on a domain G, and also we have small a is belonging to our capital G, and from these two we have to prove that f of Z is nothing but this series. It means this series will be convergent to f of Z in this region, where this region have radius, that is r is nothing but the distance between a and the boundary set of a G, that is boundary of a set G. Now from Taylor's theorem we can easily prove this one, but for Taylor's theorem we require one open ball having center will be a and radius will be capital R. If we find out this region must be a subset of our G, then it will be obviously true from the Taylor's theorem. So here just we have to check whether open ball about a of radius R is a subset of our given domain or not. If it is a subset, then it is obviously true from our Taylor's theorem. So here just we will use our given things. So prove here f is analytic in G. Okay, and also R is nothing but capital R is nothing but a distance between A and dou of G. As it is a distance, then it must be the shortest distance between A and any point on the boundary. It means it is nothing but infimum of distance between some point A to Z, where Z is belonging to boundary of a set G. Okay, that is, as it is a distance, then it must be the infimum, that is the shortest distance from A to any point of our boundary. Okay, so it can be written as infimum of distance from A to Z is nothing but modulus of Z minus A, where Z is belonging to boundary of a set G. It means if suppose we have one set G, here is our G. Okay, now suppose this will be the boundary of this G. Okay. Okay, this is boundary of G. This will be our center A, and this will be now R. Since here we have to find out the R is nothing but the distance between A and boundary set of G, as boundary set of G must be subset of G. Okay, since boundary is nothing but it contains both the points of G and complement of G. It means this R is lies entirely lies in between our G. So if we consider any open ball having center will be A and radius will be R, whether it will be a subset of G,
Yes, sir.
it must be a subset of G. Okay. So as F is analytic, open ball about A of radius R is a subset of G. Since here open ball about A of radius R, as R is the infimum distance from A to any point on the boundary, then this entire ball must be lies in between our G. That is, it is a subset of G. But as F is analytic on G, then it means F is analytic for all the points in between G. As open ball about A of radius R is a subset of G, then F is also analytic on this open ball also, which implies F is analytic on open ball about A of radius R. Then we can easily use now our Taylor's theorem. Then by Taylor's theorem, F of Z is nothing but series an into Z minus e to the power n, where n is running from 0 to infinity, and this will be the region required, and hence the this one. Okay. Just to here we have to prove that F of Z is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity an Z minus e to the power n by using this one, these two. F is an analytic function on our G and A is any point in G. Okay, as this one is a consequence of Taylor's theorem, then here we have to use the Taylor's theorem. But for Taylor's theorem, we require one open ball which is centered at some A and having radius will be R. And if our given function F is analytic on that open ball, then we can use the Taylor's theorem. So for that, we have to just check whether there exists one open ball having center will be A and having radius will be R, and which is subset of G. If this will be a subset of G, as F is analytic on G, then it is analytic on every subset of that G. So as here we get open ball about A of radius R will be subset of G, and as F is analytic on this G, then it must be analytic on this open ball also. And if we get F is analytic on this one, then we get our half part of our Taylor's theorem. As we get the half part, then we can easily use our Taylor's theorem, and by Taylor's theorem we will get a required series. Okay, कुणाल काही doubt यामध्ये?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now the second one, let F from G to C is an analytic function. Then F is infinitely differentiable on set G. ओके, जर माझा फंक्शन F हा एनालिटिक असेल एखाद्या डोमेनवर G वर, तर तो त्या डोमेनच्या अंडर म्हणजे त्या डोमेनच्या मध्ये इन्फायनाइटली मेनी टाइम्स डिफरन्शिएबल आहे हे दाखवायचं. ओके, नाउ लेट अस सी द प्रूफ. Given that F from G to C is an analytic function. Now let us take A be any point of G. Let A is belonging to our domain G. Then by consequence 1, then by consequence 1, F of Z is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity an Z minus a to the power n, where modulus of Z minus a is less than R. Okay, and R is nothing but where capital R is nothing but the distance between A and boundary of a set G. Okay, now just by given F of Z, this F of Z can be written as A1, sorry, A naught, An is running from 0 to infinity, An Z minus a to the power 0, which is 1, plus A1 Z minus a plus a2 z minus a bracket square plus a3 z minus a bracket cube plus a4 z minus a to the power 4 plus up to so on. Okay, now from this one, what is the value of f dash of z? F dash z is nothing but yes, what is the value of f
A1z
dash?
plus
This a naught
2A2z
will be constant, then it must be 0, which is a1 into derivative of the z minus a, which is 1, plus a2 into derivative of this one, which is nothing but 2 times a2 into z minus c, plus a3 into derivative of this one with respect to z, it becomes 3 times a3 into z minus a bracket square, plus 4 times a4 into z minus a bracket cube, and plus up to so on. Now, what is f double dash of z? Which is nothing but now a1 is constant, then it becomes 0. 2 times a2 plus 3 into 2, which is 6 times a3 of z minus a plus 12 times a4 of z minus a bracket square plus up to so on. And again, f double dash of z is nothing but this one will be 0. So it becomes 6a3 plus 12 into 2, 24 a4 z minus a plus up to so on. असं किती वेळा डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काढू शकता तुम्ही दिलेल्या सिरीजचं? As n is running from 0 to infinity, there are so infinitely many terms in this series. Okay, so from this one only we conclude that our given series will be infinitely many times differentiable. If suppose as this will be the third order derivative. Now what is in generally fk of z becomes fk of z is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity n into n minus 1 n minus 2 up to so on n minus k plus 1 an into z minus a to the power n minus k. Since for first order derivative it is nothing but a1, for second order derivative it is 2 times a2, for third it is 6 times a3. So for kth order it becomes fk of z is nothing but this one is nothing but 1 factorial into a1, 2 factorial into a2, 3 factorial into a3. Then what is fk of z? Its first term is nothing but k factorial times ak. Now let us check whether this will be true or not. This one is nothing. If we put n is running from k to infinity. Okay. Now if we put n equal to 1, then here 1 minus 1, which is 0. Up to k minus 1 we get all the terms are 0. This n minus k plus 1 is actually it is nothing but n minus k minus 1. For n equal to k minus 1 it is again 0. For first non-zero term will be at n equal to k. At n equal to k we get this one is nothing but first term will be k into k minus 1 into k minus 2 up to so on. This one k minus k 0 into 1. Then obviously its previous term will be 2 into 1 ak z minus a to the power n minus k minus k 0, which is 0. So here we get k factorial ak. This will be the first term whenever n equal to k. If we take n equal to k plus 1, then we will get a second term. ठीक है? ठीक आहे का कन्फ्यूज होत आहे?
Yes, sir.
याच्यावरून फर्स्ट डेरिव्हेटिव्ह घेतला तेव्हा काय मिळाला मला 1 a1 which is 1 factorial into a1. सेकंड ला काय भेटला 2 into a2, it means it is 2 factorial into a2. थर्ड ला काय भेटला 6 into a3. म्हणजे फर्स्ट टर्म चेक करायला आपण फर्स्ट टर्म काय भेटली 6 into a3, it means it is 3 factorial into a3. So in generally मला k टर्म काय मिळेल k factorial into our ak. This will be the first term, and whenever we will take n series n running from k to infinity, we will get our first term, and again if we take n equal to k plus 1, then we get the second term of this series only. Okay, so from this one we conclude that, which implies the given series is infinitely differentiable its kth order derivative is fk of z is equal to series n running from k to infinity n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to so on n minus of k plus 1. This one is actually nothing but n minus of k minus 1 into an z minus a to the power n minus. Okay, and hence the proof. That is we have to prove na the given series will be infinitely differentiable if f is analytic on our given domain. Okay, so this will be our second consequence. Now the last one is nothing but if f from G to C is analytic and the closed disk which is centered at A and having radius will be capital R will be a subset of capital G, then Fn of A is equal to n factorial divided by 2 pi into integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw, where gamma is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it, where t is belonging to closed interval 0 to 2 pi and r is greater than 0. Okay, since here we have to choose a radius r small r which must be greater than 0. Okay, so here we have given f is analytic on our domain G, and also we have one closed disk which is centered at A having radius r and which is subset of G, and by using these we have to prove that fn of A is nothing but n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma, that is rectifiable r gamma f of w divided by w minus e to the power n plus 1 d w, and actually we know what is the curve gamma, which is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it, where t is lies between closed interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay, let us see the proof. Let f from G to C is analytic and the closed disk will be a subset of G. As closed disk will be subset of G, then open disk must be a subset of G. Here closed disk is a subset of G, and for Taylor's theorem we require open disk, which implies open disk must be a subset of G. That's why here we have to take the capital R, since closed disk having center will be capital R. Yes. Okay. So open disk having radius must be a subset of G. As here we have f is analytic function on G, and this will be a subset of G. Then f is analytic on this wall also. As it is analytic on this one, then we will use our Taylor's theorem, which implies by Taylor's theorem, f of z is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity an z minus a to the power n, where modulus of z minus a is less than r, and an is nothing but 1 upon n factorial fn of a. But in Taylor's theorem, we have also proved that an is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w upon w minus e to the power n plus 1 dw. Let us take this one as 1. And we also know that an is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus e to the power n plus 1 dw. Take this one as equation. Now as our LHS is equal, then RHS must be equal. Then just equating these two equations from 1 and 2, 1 upon n factorial fn of a is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus e to the power n plus 1 dw. Now just multiply both sides by n factorial. We get fn of a is equal to n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw. And that is where how to prove. Hence the required result. Okay. Up to now, any doubt? In
No, sir.
Taylor's theorem and consequences of Taylor's theorem. If there is no doubt, then we will take a next. Okay. Hey, no doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Fast वगैरह होत नहीं ना?
No, sir. No.
Okay. Now the next theorem is nothing but the Cauchy estimate theorem. Cauchy estimate theorem. This one is also depending on these consequences of Taylor's theorem. Okay. First, let us see its statement. Let f from f be analytic on open ball, analytic on or in open ball about a of radius capital R, and the given function f of z is bounded by some capital M for all z belonging to this open ball of radius capital, and then we have to prove that modulus of fn of a is less equal by n factorial into capital M divided by r to the power. Okay, so here we have given f is analytic function in this open ball, and also f is bounded by this capital M for any value z which belonging to this open ball, and from that one we have to prove that modulus of fn a is less equal by n factorial into m divided by r to the power n. Okay, see it's true. So here f is analytic on open ball about a of radius capital. Okay, now here we will choose our small r which is lies between 0 to capital R, such that that is closed ball which is centered at A and having radius small r must be a subset of open ball about A of radius R. Here modulus of f of z is bounded by this f for all z belonging to this open ball. Now let small r is lies between this one, so that B closure of AR must be subset of open ball about A of radius capital. Again this one, same. This one will be our centered A, having radius will be capital R, and somewhere we have chosen our another open ball. Sorry, this one will be a circle. Okay, and its radius will be smaller. So now this one is become open ball about A of radius R, and this one is nothing but open ball about, sorry, closed ball of A which is radius R, and this one will be subset of this one. Okay, now we have to use the consequence number 3. So by consequence number 3, by consequence number 3, what is modulus of fn of A is nothing but n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus A to the power n plus 1 dw. Okay, where gamma is nothing but A plus R into e to the power it, where t is belonging to close the interval 0 to 2 pi and R must be greater than 0. Okay, now let us take this one as some start. Now let us take the modulus on both sides of this star, which implies taking modulus we get taking modulus on both side of star, we get modulus of Fn A is equal to modulus of n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus e to the power n plus 1 and dw. And we know that this w is belonging to trace of gamma. Okay. Okay. As w belonging to trace of gamma, and trace of gamma is of this form, that is gamma of t, where t is belonging to closed interval 0 to 2 pi, where gamma of t is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it, where t is member of this interval 0 to 2 pi. As w is a member of this curve gamma, then w must be of this form, which implies w is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it. Then what is the derivative of this w? dw becomes, yes, what is its derivative with respect to t? आवाज येते ना माझं?
Yes, sir.
What is derivative there?
I into RE raised to IT.
E to the power it. Now just this, put these values w of w and dw in this one, that is this equation 1, which implies equation 1 becomes modulus of Fne is equal to, okay, integrate 1 upon 2 pi I or n factorial divided by 2 pi, n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w. W is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it divided by w minus a. W is a plus r into e to the power it minus of a to the power n plus 1 into dw. Dw is I into r into e to the power it and into dw. Okay. So conclusion का सेट कर रहा into part into r I e to the power it into dw and modulus. Now this I get cancelled. This I. So the remaining part is nothing but n factorial divided by 2 pi integration over the curve gamma f of a plus r into e to the power it divided by plus a minus a get cancelled, r into e to the power it raised to n plus 1. It means r to the power n plus 1 into e to the power it to the power n plus 1 into r into e to the power it into dw. This r, one r get cancelled, e to the power it, e to the power it get cancelled. So it is nothing but n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of a plus r into e to the power it divided by r to the power n into e to the power it to the power n dw. Okay, now we know that modulus of integration is less equal by integration of modulus, so it must be less equal by n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma modulus of f of a plus r into e to the power it divided by r to the power n e to the power it to the power n of dw. Okay, this one is less equal by n factorial divided by 2 pi I. As the integration is with respect to dw, then this one will be working as a constant. Now e to the power it is always less equal by 1, so its value will be 1. This one is r to the power n as it is into r to the power n. This will be 1. F of a plus r into e to the power it. We know that modulus of f of z is less equal by m for all z belonging to open ball about a of radius r, that is capital R. Okay, now this f of a plus r into e to the power it, if suppose this one is something w, it means it is nothing but a plus r into e to the power it. Then modulus of w minus a is nothing but modulus of r into e to the power it. It is nothing but some r, and we know that r is less than small r. Then this circle is also a member of this open ball. आहे का?
Yes, sir.
As this one is member of this one, and for all z belonging to this open ball, modulus of f of z is less equal by m. Then this function f is bounded by this m, which implies which is less equal by m into integration over the curve gamma modulus of dw. Now what is the value of integration over the curve gamma of modulus of dw? The curve is defined on which interval?
0 to 2 pi. 2 pi.
0 to 2 pi. So it is nothing but, I think 2 pi I we have cancelled. No?
I cancel झालंय sir.
Yes. So this will be a primitive list. N factorial divided by 2 pi into m into r to the power n into 2 pi. This 2 pi get cancelled, which implies modulus of fna is less equal by n factorial into m divided by this r to the power n. Again here we have chosen this small r is arbitrary. Okay, since letting r is tending to capital R, we get modulus of fna is less equal by n factorial into m divided by capital R to the power n. And I think that is we have to. Yes, आर हा आपण कोणताही एक आर्बिट्ररी चूज केला होता, त्याऐवजी कोणताही पॉइंट घ्या आर मधून, त्यासाठी हा इनइक्वालिटी क्रॉस आहे, and hence the required result. Yes, कुणाला काही डाऊट?
No, sir.
Okay.